I have been sleeping with my biological dad since I was 17. I'm now approaching 30, married, and I still sleep with him.
A
I
used
was raised.
condom fell on my finger. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I found out that I was not the only one. Girl, pull over, let's talk about it.
It's my wedding day. I'm talking hair done, makeup flawless, dress, everything. Best day of my life, right? Wrong. Because tell me why my family decided this was the day to be messy. So we had to
When I tell
discuss.
you I followed that man, well, y'all can see I followed him into the bedroom. He got my gun and pulled the trigger. I always keep one in the head because that's just me. Like,
This man took her gun and shot her in the head. And this lady has been sleeping with her real dad. I mean, these storytime videos are wild. I find them all for you guys. So all I ask is that you please like this video and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Thank you and enjoy.
I have been sleeping with my biological dad since I was 17. I'm now approaching 30, married, and I still sleep with him. I was raised by my dad alone. I never knew my mom. Apparently, she died during childbirth when she was having me. My dad always used to tell me I looked like my mom, and I could tell from her pictures that he showed me. Growing up and being raised by a single dad was very tough. My dad is a strict type. I wasn't allowed to have friends and all that, just me and my books. He was overly protective of me. One day, everything changed when I had my first period. I was scared and didn't know what to do, as my dad had never really discussed such things with me. It was then that he realized that I was growing up and began to change. I had my first period when I was 14. At first, everything was cool, but then he began to make some weird requests, like I should show him my V, cause I'm menstruating now and he wants to make sure everything is okay down there. He began to see my boobs, telling me he was inspecting for any deformities since they are now growing. I wasn't really bothered about it because it was my dad and I didn't see anything wrong. Fast forward, I was now 17 and I had completed senior high school fresh. I was home all day, all by myself. I had a few friends but wasn't allowed to go out or anything. I only saw my friends at church. One day, I was on my period and I was having severe cramps. So my dad returned from work and saw me sobbing. I was in pains. And he told me this, change up and take a bath. I will never forget those words. So I went ahead to take my bath and I headed to my room. I didn't even bother to dress up. I was just in my towel lying in bed because the pains were still there. My dad came to the room and he came to sit beside my bed. Next thing, he began to touch my thighs and touch my boobs. I didn't understand what was going on and why. He forced himself on me that evening. Just imagine, I was raped during my period. That night, I just wasn't myself. I couldn't believe what had just happened. I don't even remember how I managed to sleep it off. The following morning came and my dad was acting so overly nice. I remember that day. It was a weekend. He took me out and went for shopping and all that. He told me to keep what had happened the previous day to ourselves. Mind you, I was scared of my dad because of how I was raised and I couldn't tell anyone. Who was I even going to tell? I didn't have a trusted friend nor any relatives I was cool with. And because of the way my dad became so overly nice all of a sudden, it drew me closer to him more. Surprisingly, I didn't really bother about the fact that he had gripped me. He was the first man to have been intimate with me. Things took a wrong turn. We continued to have sex. I had developed feelings for my dad now. Like how? It got to some point we had sex every day of the week. I became so addicted to him. For this reason, my dad didn't allow me to purchase university forms for that year. I had basically became his sex mate and he didn't want me to go to school. During that same period, I got pregnant and that was the first of multiple abortions I had for him. The whole abortion thing was another painful event on its own. I don't even want to talk about it. I went to the university the following year. That's when I met my first boyfriend. Honestly, for some weird reasons, I didn't enjoy having sex with him. I had become so addicted to my dad, and I could leave school for home to spend the weekend and have constant sex with my dad. He was the only man who could satisfy my sexual needs. We did all the naughty stuff you could ever imagine. I dated a number of guys during my uni period, but I still slept with my dad all along. One of my boyfriends then became suspicious of us, but I always brushed it off, saying I'm a daddy's girl, so I'm close with him. So within the 4 years in uni, I did 2 abortions and 3 for him. Oh God, I'm even shaking while typing this. After school, I was dating a certain guy and my dad got to find out. That day, he slapped and beat me and even forced anal sex. He said it was a punishment for dating another man. The sex intensified. It got to some point we had sex in his office. I became pregnant for the 4th time. At that point, I was fed up with the abortions and wanted to pin it on my then boyfriend. During that time, too, our relationship was shaky because I was trying to avoid him since I was scared of my dad. I tried to make him sleep with me, but for some reasons, we didn't, meaning I had to abort once again. I broke up with him afterwards. This period was very hard for me. I had started service and I was lucky to gain employment immediately afterwards. I bounced men left and right. I had made enough money to move out, but I still lived with him because of the sex I enjoyed. I stayed with my dad for a while when I started working. Our neighbors became a bit suspicious of us because we are really close together, and I think one of them even saw us kissing one time. It was best I leave so we don't get caught. I decided to leave the house and rent elsewhere. Because of that, the sex with my dad reduced a bit. I only went to his place during some weekends, but we used to have sex video calls and masturbate together. At this point, I was so much into my dad that I didn't want to date any man again or even sleep with any man. It was during this period I met my husband. Funny thing is, I met him in a car when returning home from one of my sexual escapades with my dad. He paid for my fare and we took it from there. We became friends. He was a good man and I enjoyed his vibe too. Things were cool between us, and one day he asked me to be his girlfriend. Honestly, I didn't want to date him. I didn't want to lose the friendship either. So, after thinking about it for some days, I accepted the proposal. But I lied to him that I don't want to have sex before marriage and that I'll keep myself until my husband comes. He was cool with it because apparently he was a virgin himself. We began to date. The only intimacy we had was to kiss. Meanwhile, I was still sleeping with my dad. I had to stop the sex video calls with my dad because I was scared he might go through my phone and see evidence of it. I mean, having long video calls constantly with your dad at odd hours. My dad got to know I was dating again and he was angry at me. I told him yes, I was dating, but I wasn't sleeping with my boyfriend. That night, we had a heated argument. It was as if he saw me cheating on him. Again, he beat me up and forced anal sex on me. I can say that he gripped me that evening because I wasn't in the mood for sex. I had a black eye. I had to lie to my boyfriend I had gotten Apollo so he doesn't get suspicious. I got angry with my dad and the sex stopped for some time. I wasn't answering his calls too, nor was I visiting him. One day, I got so horny that I needed a man to satisfy me. So I went there and requested for sex. We had sex the entire night, like two lovers who had missed each other. So then again, the sex resumed, but he got to understand that I had a boyfriend. He was cool with it now. All this while, I made excuses to my boyfriend that my dad wasn't feeling well, so I could see him often to have sex. To be honest, I saw my boyfriend as a brother. He was a good man. He treated me well, but I wasn't attracted to him. I enjoyed his friendship and companionship. He used to tell his friends about me. He told them about the good girl that I am modest, I'm keeping myself for my future husband. I really felt sorry for him. He didn't know what was happening between my dad and I. But I don't blame him because I look really innocent. My boyfriend got to meet my dad and eventually asked for my hand in marriage. But I had a plan to deceive my husband, to tell him why I am not intact down there when we eventually have sex after marriage. I'll tell him I was a sports girl back in senior high school. And because of the vigorous activities, my hymen was stretched. Of course, he would believe me. He really trusted me that much, and he was a bit naive too about this sex thing. So, we got married. My plan worked. My husband never got suspicious. But honestly, I've never ever enjoyed sex with him, no matter how he tries. But why bother? Because my dad is always around to satisfy me. I've been pregnant 3 times, and they all have been miscarriages. My first pregnancy, I honestly wasn't sure who was responsible, whether my husband or my dad. Although I lost the baby, some part of me was glad. Fast forward to present day. My husband suspects nothing. The last time I slept with my dad was a month ago. I do all my duties as a responsible wife. He's a good man. The only thing is I'm addicted to sex with my dad, and I can't stop. I don't blame my dad. I don't blame anyone. Cause sometimes I even request for the sex myself. I will continue marrying my husband. He's a good man and hope I can give him kids one day. This is my confession. This is not right. This is so not right. And I'm not bringing this here for people to think that, oh, it is right for you to do this with your daughter. It is so not right. And it's so sad that she thinks she cannot blame her dad. He groomed you into being who you are. And that is not right. He messed with your mental health and you need help. That is exactly what you need. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about this story. Thank you for watching. And this story is from Kofi Noel's page on Facebook. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel and share this story to your friend for us all to learn from it.
So boom, it's my wedding day. I'm talking hair done, makeup flawless, dress, everything. Best day of my life, right? Wrong. Because tell me why my family decided this was the day to be messy. So we at the reception, everybody eating, laughing, we having a good time, music going. And I noticed my cousin acting a little worried, like extra nervous. He kept stepping outside on the phone, pacing, and I'm like, okay, maybe he got something going on. So one of my other cousins come up to me like, girl, don't look, okay? Don't look. But do you know who he came with? And I'm like, what you talking about? So casually, y'all, I take a look, I'm nosy. And I see him sitting real close with this girl, and they whispering, giggling a little too comfortable. Now I'm thinking, okay, that's his girlfriend or whatever. Cool. But then my auntie walks up and says, why is he over there with his cousin like that? I said, hold on. Now I'm confused, like, what? Come to find out, the girl he bought is his cousin too, y'all. So, like, we grew up together. That's what I'm asking my family, like, blood cousin? And when I tell you the whole table went silent, people started whispering, side-eye, pulling their phones out, y'all, coming out. And I'm just sitting here in my wedding dress like, why is this happening on my day? Out of all days, y'all, my wedding? So now, word spreading around the reception, family members going back and forth. Some people like, maybe they don't know. Others like, ain't no way you don't know your cousin. That's your own cousin. And the way they was acting, y'all, yeah, they knew. They most definitely knew, in my Kevin Gates voice. So my auntie ends up pulling him to the side, and it gets loud, y'all, like arguing loud. And the next thing you know, they both leave the wedding together, early, together. So yeah, instead of people remembering my beautiful wedding day, they remember we found out my cousin was dating his own cousin. Baby, I wish I was lying.
Okay, at this point, I'm about to do more story times about the trauma that I went through with weird bitches because I'm healing. So I'm gonna be honest. When your life seems like you have a lot of blessings and you seem like a lucky person that gets things easily, there will be some people who will go out of their way to try to find imperfections in your life. And they'll go as far as trying to create a relationship or a friendship with you just so they can get tea on you and go spill it to people so they can have a little ha-ha kiki moment about you. I'm going to tell y'all a little story. And this is crazy, by the way. But I used to have this friend, and her name is Stacy. We're going to call her Stacy for now for story purposes. So when me and this girl first became friends, like, we bonded off of the fact that, like, we both like taking pictures. We both like social media content creation. And I had already started my social media content creation journey. You know what I mean? I had already been hitting up photographers and posting, like, my photo shoot pictures. And I had, like, a few viral stuff on TikTok. So this girl would always ask me for, like, tips and stuff on social media. And I never gatekeeped because I've never been a gatekeeper. Like, one thing about me, I know your success is not stopping mine. So I give you all the tea because for me, I don't even think there really is no tea. I really just think it's what's in me, not what's on me. But whatever. I don't gatekeep. So I told her everything I do, which is, you know, post consistently. I sent her the hashtags I use and blah, blah. So one thing about this girl, she really created an environment where she made me feel like I could really trust her. One day, basically, me and her were talking, right? And I was telling her about how, like, there's this social media, like, platform called Aspire IQ. And, like, a lot of social media influencers use it and stuff. But, like, I have to put money into it. And I can't right now because I have to, like, pay for school and blah, blah, blah. So she offered to give me $25 so that I could put it into the app. So I'm like, damn, like, really? Like, she's like, yeah, you're my friend. Like, I want to support you. Like, I got you. Like, yeah, like, it's totally fine, right? I'm like, wow, like, this girl's nice. Like, so I really thought I could trust her. I really thought that she was a supportive ass person, you know, but I was wrong because she didn't do that to be supportive. So basically, fast forward, right? She falls out with her friends on campus at college. Now, keep in mind, pay attention to this one detail. She's on campus. I'm at home. I went to school, but I was still at home. I was not on campus, so I was not in the mix. Somehow, when you see throughout this story, I was the topic, even though I was not on campus. But anyways, this girl fell out with her friend group on campus. And when she fell out with them, she started telling me all this stuff about how they used to talk so much shit about me and they used to make fun of me and all this stuff. So I immediately was taken back because I'm like, you've been friends with these bitches for a while, and now that you fall out with them, you want to tell me that they've been talking shit, so it was okay when y'all were friends? Like, that's not giving loyalty to me at all. Like, I don't know what thought she was doing with that, but that did not make me trust her. Like, that made me side-eye her. So I'm like, oh, shit, like, I really cannot trust this bitch. Like, so I'm not gonna lie, I confronted her friend group just because, like, her friend group was mutuals with me and they used to watch my stories. And so it's like, in my head, I'm just like, y'all watch me, y'all follow me, so why are y'all, like, talking about me? So I confronted them. I just, like, started asking them, like, what's good, pretty much. And they pretty much exposed Stacy and said, girl, it's funny that you coming to us about Stacy telling you that we talking shit. She be the main person talking shit about you. I'm like, what? They like, yeah. Like, so apparently, like, first of all, there was a point in my social media journey where I was like doing the wig installs and stuff, and I was new to wig installs. I'm not gonna lie. So like, just like every girl when they're new to wig installs, it don't eat that much. The lace don't eat like the way it don't, you know what I'm saying? It don't be giving experienced a lace slayer yet. You know what I'm saying? So they would basically send my like post that I would make where I would make like a wig tutorial when a company sent me a free wig, and they would send it in a group chat and basically just start laughing at me and stuff like that and haha kikiing, because they're like, oh, like her, she looks horrible. Ugh. But it's like, at the end of the day, like, y'all high-key lame, because y'all bitches literally have to pay for your wig, pay for somebody to install it. I got paid and got a free wig. Like, even if the install did not eat. No shade, but whatever. But that's not even the bad part. This girl was screen recording the audio messages that I would send to her about my relationship problems, and she would send it in a group chat with those girls so they could basically ha-ha kiki about the fact that I'm going through it with my nigga. Screen recording my audio messages that I sent to her personally. Please wrap that around your head right now. I'm texting her privately about my relationship problems, and she's screen recording it without my knowledge and sending it in a group chat full of bitches that I do not know like that. And that's not even the bad part, bro. After I basically told her, yo, like, we're done. Like, I'm not friends with you. Like, I don't trust you and shit. This girl basically wanted to go on a whole rant trying to defend herself, and she was spamming me. And in her message, remember the $25 that she had let me borrow? I had paid her back. But in the messages, when she was trying to like defend herself as being a good friend when I was cutting her off, she like, oh, and like, why would I be a bad friend? Because at the end of the day, I gave you $25 to start your social media shit, and you never even paid me back, and I didn't even say nothing. I'm like, so I go right in my Apple Cash. Because no, you know, one thing a bitch gonna never do is that. So I went right in my Apple Cash, okay? And I sent her a screenshot of me paying her back. And that shit is still there. Shit is still saved on my phone. Shit still saved. All the receipts and screenshots of everything. Okay? Because that was just like, girl, that was crazy. No shade. That was insane. And I thought that would be the worst part, but it's actually not. Throughout my college career, there were so many people that have never experienced me, and they already had an idea, and it was a negative idea about me. They already didn't want to give me a chance. They already did not like me, and they already had some idea that I was some mean girl or some bad guy, because I don't know how she flipped the story. I don't know what she told motherfuckers, but I suddenly became the bad guy for cutting this girl off. And I still cannot understand that shit, because I'm just like, bro, I'm the bad guy for cutting off a weird ass bitch that basically tried to set me up and was getting tea on my life so she could go make fun of me to people. Like, what? I just want to add in this last detail. When me and my ex-best friend fell out, guess what Stacy did? Stacy and my ex-bestie became cool. They became friends. I mean, it's no hate to my ex-bestie, though. I don't got no issues with her or nothing like that. But this is more so about, like, Stacy just hopping on dick as soon as me and my ex-bestie fell out. She just immediately wanted to be friends with her. I don't know. This is why I don't have friends. And, you know, you will never understand lonely bitches who don't kick it with other bitches until you go through some shit like this. So if you don't have friends, girl, trust me, I get it.
This dude said he met this girl off of TikTok or whatever. He said she was a real pretty girl. She lived in Memphis. He lived in Mississippi. She said that she didn't have her license, so she couldn't drive from Memphis to Mississippi. So he offered to go pick her ass up. So he said he went to pick her up or whatever, took her out for breakfast. You know, shit was going good. So he ended up taking her back to his house on the first day. She gets there, she like, oh, my stomach hurt. So she was like, oh, can I go use the bathroom? So he was like, yeah, cool, go use the bathroom. Then she was like, oh, can I take a shower? The nigga said, yeah, go take a shower. So I guess he was gonna give her a t-shirt to walk around in. So while she in the shower, her purse is sitting on the dresser drawer. So on the dresser drawer, there was a fan. A fan was vibrating. So I guess it was vibrating hard as hell because it ended up knocking her purse on the ground. He said the purse ended up falling on the ground and all her shit fell out her purse. So he seen some pills that said, hi, it's Vicky. Now y'all put the abbreviations together. So the girl comes out the bathroom and he was like, he left everything there so she could see that everything fell out. He wanted her to know, like, hey, I seen the meds on the ground. So he was like, when was you gonna tell me about this? The girl was like, why would I tell you about it? You didn't ask me. So the man goes and say, y'all need to be careful. What do you mean y'all need to be careful? Sir, you are old enough to be somebody's grandpa. And you're telling somebody to be careful. Baby, you should have enough wisdom at that age. So apparently he said that the girl and her friends be looking for like older men to like, you know, wine and dine them. Then dude was like, what if I was gonna go in just like no protection or nothing? And she was like, well, you never asked, so I wasn't gonna tell you. Sir, this says a lot about you. It's giving thirsty. Don't put it off on her. You picked a woman that you met on TikTok on the first day up. You didn't know nothing about this lady, but you invited this lady to your house. You lucky God was looking out for you. You lucky that fan knocked that bag down on the ground and her meds fell out.
Sometimes whenever I'm real mad, I don't remember certain shit I say or do. I had told a story on here about how my best friend got into a fight and I went in the principal office and blamed everybody else so she wouldn't get kicked out. Well, I still had like a couple people mad at me for blaming them to save her. And this girl was one of them. And I remember sitting with one of my friends and my friend go, what she keep staring at? I said, who? She said, her. I said, and this bitch staring a hole in the side of my head. She said, what are you looking at? And then she bucked at me. I said, you so fucking stupid. You didn't even buck at me right. I was supposed to flinch or jump or something. You just a failure. You mad because your friend got beat up? She said, who are you talking to? And she started getting loud. And it looked like she was walking towards me. And so my friend, who's she walking up on? She walking over here, walking up on me? Who does she think she is? So I started walking up on her. Well, I thought I did. So in my head, we both walking up on each other. 15 minutes later, me and the girl sitting in the principal office. The principal said, whoever initiated this getting ISS. I said, I got one better. Just kick her out the school in general. She a waste of educational resources. Y'all giving her books she won't ever open and due dates she won't ever meet. The girl said, Deidre, shut up. I said, I would use your name, but I don't know it. Principal said, I'm still waiting to hear who initiated it. I said, she started. She was looking at me crazy first. She walked up on me first, and I walked up on her back. The girl said, no, Deidre, you literally ran at me. Principal said, who walked up on who first? Who did it what first? And if y'all don't say it, then I'm calling both of y'all parents. I said, you was going to call them anyways. She said, you right. I said, I call my mom myself because she not going to be mad at me for defending myself because I didn't start none of this. She came at me first. I called my mama and I put her on speakerphone. I said, Mama, this girl done lost her mind thinking she finna sit up there and walk up on me. My mama said, who? I said, this creature sitting right next to me. My mama said, if she even act like she gonna put her hands on you, you know what to do. I said, and do. My mama said, if she touch you, you better knock her head off her shoulders. I said, and will. My mama said, don't you let nobody play with you. I said, and won't. The principal said, I said, that's all I wanted, Mama. I just wanted to call and let you know because they threatening to call you as if I did something wrong. The girl said, Deidre, you are fucking delusional. She looked at the principal. She said, this girl is delusional. I said, spell it. She said, D-E. I said, wrong. Back to summer school. Back to summer school you go. She said to the principal, she said, why would I walk up on her and I'm on probation? I said, because you lost your mind. That's why. You're a troublemaker. You're a troublemaker who have to pee in a cup. She looked at the principal. She said, can we get her out the room so me and you can talk? She said, she ran at me first. Deidre ran at me. I said, I don't even run. My mama said she don't. I said, all right. I said, Mama, I'm going to call you back. I got this. I hung up the phone. I said, like I said, I don't even run. Yep, I get out of class 5 minutes early every day so I can be the first one to practice. So by the time everybody else show up, I just start breathing real hard and it make me look like I did my laps. But really, I didn't do my laps. I don't run for the team, so why would I run for you? She said, that's why I'm going to tell your cheer coach and you're going to get kicked off. I said, is this going to be before or after I call your probation officer to come pick you up? The principal said, I don't want to hear nothing else. Both of y'all hush. I'm finna go look at these cameras, and whoever lying to me, y'all getting an extra day of ISS because it's ridiculous. Principal said, both of y'all be quiet. I don't want to hear nothing. And she got up and walked out the room. Me and her just staring each other down. I said, what a fucking joke. She said, you must be looking in the mirror. I said, I couldn't tell you what I was looking at. Maybe something that belongs in a museum. Maybe a Ripley's, believe it or not. She said, stop talking to me. I said, have you ever been to Ripley's? She put on her headphones. I said, psst, psst. She yelled down the hall at the principal. She said, can you get her out of here? She keeps trying to provoke me. Principal said, Deidre, stop. I leaned in and I said, when the principal come back in here and she writes your ISS slip, I'm going to ask her if I can watch you sign it, bitch. You shouldn't have said nothing to me today. Some time go by, the principal come back in the room and she said, Deidre, pack your stuff up. Your mama on the way to get you. I looked at the girl. I said, hurry up and pack your stuff. Your mama on the way to come get you to drive you back to the probation office. Principal said, no, Deidre, you. I said, why me? She said, because you ran across the room at her. I said, this can't be. I don't even run. I don't remember running at her. I said, let me look at the footage. Let me see. This all a misunderstanding. Me and the principal looking at the camera. I said, see, there she go right there running across the room at me. She said, Deidre, that's you. See your bun right there. I said, oh. She said, and you see this thing going through the air right there? I said, yeah. She said, that's the purse you threw. I said, I don't remember throwing my purse. I started patting myself down. I said, where is it? She said, the same place it landed after you threw it. I said, whoops. You know, sometimes when I'm mad, I don't remember nothing. I ain't remember running at that girl. I said, I cannot believe I did that. How many days I got to do? So my mama came up to the school, and it was her, the principal, and me, and we was all sitting in the principal office. And my mama was like, so you think she lied? The principal said, I think she really did believe her version of events. I said, I did. I said, Mama, I run pretty fast, don't I? You seen it? I don't know when the last time I done did that. My mama said, Deidre, go to the car. We going home. And I got back in the car, and I called my best friend to fill her in. I said, tell me why all the roads done led back to me. I said, I guess I only run when I'm mad. Hell, I don't remember doing that shit to that girl. I ain't apologizing. Fuck her.
I accidentally logged into my nurse educator's email at 3 a.m. and I found out exactly what everybody thought of me. I was the nurse leader on my unit. We had just moved units because of construction going on in the hospital. I needed to log into Epic to get a bed for a patient. So I sit down at a random computer. Epic pulls up fine for me. But when I go to open Outlook, my educator's email is still logged in from day shift. And by pure muscle memory, I go to sign her out. My cursor is literally sitting on top of the sign out button. And something just tells me to stop. At the top, there was a pen thread. And I saw my name. I didn't even process it at first. I just remember staring at the screen like, why is my name up there? So I opened it. It was a group email chain. People that I worked with, people that I saw every single shift were talking about me. And not like in a, oh, I'm concerned, professional feedback sort of way. It was mostly commentary, opinions, and side conversations about me like I was not even in the building with them. And then I saw that management was in on it too. They weren't stopping it. They were part of it. I remember sitting there in complete silence. Like I was actually frozen, just staring at the screen. I could only stomach reading one email, so I called my friend over and had her look at it to see how bad the rest were. Now, me and her normally hoot and holler all shift long, so when I saw her face drop while she was reading them, I knew they were bad. I still actually have the pictures of every single one of those emails that she took that I have not opened to this day. But because I'm a real professional, I logged out, closed everything, and I just went back to being the charge nurse for the rest of the shift. No explosion, no confronting anybody. I had been going back and forth for months about whether I wanted to stay at that job. When God gave me a choice to move, I didn't take it. So I really think he took that choice from me. I put in my notice that same week. But here's where it gets good. Before I left, I sent an email to my manager and my director and the educator outlining my entire experience there as the only black charge nurse in the hospital and exactly how I was treated by their staff members. They never responded. But the next day, I got a call from the director of HR for the hospital telling me I did not have to work my notice and that I was going to be paid for every single shift that I had scheduled for the next 6 weeks. So I guess the joke was kind of on them because I got paid to go to Pilates.
And how was that? Well, So we just gonna hop right into it. But first, I want to say thank you to everybody who was asking if I was okay in the comments and in my DMs. Yes, I am okay. I appreciate the concern. So about a week before, we had just moved into these luxury apartments downtown Cleveland called The Standard, right across the street from the Justice Center. On this particular day, I went outside, watched the solar eclipse, left, went to my CMHA apartment, picked up my cat and some clothes. He met me there as we was getting ready to leave. This part is important because it is foreshadowing to the things to come. One of my old neighbors meet us at the elevator. He like, "You good, little sis?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." "Why you say that?" He was like, "I'm just checking on you. I'm here to protect you." I'm like, "I can protect myself." He was like, "Yeah, I know, but I'm here to protect you too, this, that, and the third." Dude, my ex ended up getting more and more agitated. So we just get on the elevator, we leave, get in the Uber, the whole Uber ride back downtown. It was just awkward. We get there, he dropped the stuff off, he leave back out. Not even 2 minutes later, he called me talking about he left his earbuds, can I open the door? So I went, opened the door, he came in, grabbed them. Then he said this relationship was terminated. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I'm gonna need my phone back. That, I don't know if it was that, but that just really ticked him off. He like, all right. I'm like, so where is that? He like, I ain't giving it to you. He get to pacing back and forth, walking around, sitting in the corner, like doing all type of weird shit. So something tell me, this is where y'all really gotta learn to listen to your intuition. Like this situation, I didn't listen to my intuition like I should have, and now I do. Like it was a learning experience. Something told me, go in your room and get your gun. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I went in my room and I got my gun, but as I'm standing there tucking my gun, I'm like, it ain't never that serious. I don't ever need my gun for this. So I put it back and I went back out there. But as I'm going back out there, I'm recording because I don't know what he on. Like, he did like weird spaz out stuff before, but he ain't never once put his hands on me. But I just don't know what to expect. I go back out there. He on the phone calling somebody talking about I'm holding him hostage. How am I holding you hostage? You boiled up in the corner. The door was right there. You could have left while I was in the bedroom. You chose to sit there boiled up in the corner like, boy, if you don't get the fuck out of here. I end up telling him, like, just give me my phone. You can go. Like, I ain't even with that shit. He like, get that phone, how you live? I'm like, what? He like, get your phone, how you live, bitch. I'm like, and how was that? He went in my room to go get my gun. Something told me, follow him. He going to get your gun. When I tell you I followed that man, well, y'all can see I followed him into the bedroom. He got my gun and pulled the trigger. I always keep one in the head because that's just me. Like, I just don't be having time to cock it in a situation. So it's always one in the head. But I had a Glock, so it's a double trigger. If you know anything about guns, you know you have to really pull the trigger for it to go off. Like, so he intentionally aimed it at my head and shot at my head. I wrestled him for the gun, got the gun from him. He got to apologizing, talking about he didn't mean to do it. He loved me, this, that, and the third. We argued, bitch, fuck you. He left. I called the police, of course. I called the police. They came, not even 3 minutes. They was there quick, fast, and in a hurry. They didn't take my gun. They just got the serial number off of it and gave it back to me. And they had me send them the video for evidence. Afterwards, I asked him, like, he continued to call me until I changed my number every day, apologizing, like, he didn't mean to do it, blah, blah, blah. I asked him why he did it. Y'all know this man told me because his mama died that day. I told him, like, I can understand, I'm sorry for your loss, but that's not no excuse for you trying to kill me. Y'all know this man mama not even dead.
A used condom fell on my finger. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I found out that I was not the only one. Girl, pull over, let's talk about it. Hey guys, it's your girl Lauren here. I'm back with another girl pullover video. I'm so excited to do this one because my other one, y'all really liked it. And I'm really excited because this series is literally meant just for me to talk about my stories, give advice, just to have talk. And I feel like just putting positivity and out there and making y'all laugh and making y'all smile or feel warm or whatever I can do to add to this negative ass world. But yeah, this is episode 3. Anyways, let's get into it. So as y'all have heard from the title, and obviously if you've watched my other video, you know that my dating life in my past was very bad. So there was a guy that I talked to, I believe this was like sophomore year, junior year of college, around that time. This is somebody that I was actually cool with beforehand. So we were cool. We always saw each other walking past on campus. We hung out with each other. There's like videos of us at parties, like just like jamming and singing along to music and stuff like that. But out of nowhere, we went to, I think it was a TSU HOCO, and we got real cozy. Things just started to get more elevated after that. So I didn't expect to like him because I've never talked to anybody that was like my height. I always talked to giants. But he was just like the sweetest guy ever to me at the time. I don't know, when we finally had a chance to sit and talk and hang out with each other, it was good. It was amazing. I remember he took me on a first date, and ironically his mom shows up in the back, and I'm like, what? She's like, oh my God, I ran into my son. Oh my gosh. They're like, who is this? Sometimes it's like, man, I wasn't ready for that. Anyway, we started getting more and more cozy to the point to where I at least thought that we were on a path of like talking and like exclusively talking, because we were talking and I guess always around each other for months. It was maybe like 2 months, maybe 3. But it got to the point where I was always at his house. I was always at his crib. He was close by. We hung out like 4 times a week. It was crazy. It was a lot. I was always there. And one thing that I did back then in college that I told myself as a grown woman, I'm never doing that again. Baby, don't play house. Please don't play house with no man, especially if he ain't your man. Like, please don't go and buy him a sheet pan. Obviously, the dynamic became more physical. And I think when you're doing physical things, like everything just kind of goes blind. Sometimes you forget about the emotional aspects, and that's just not a good place to be in. Let's keep going. So while we were consistently seeing each other, I was taking a trip one weekend to Cincinnati to visit my cousins. And I was only going to be there for 3 days, and he FaceTimed me every single day, and I did vice versa while I was out there. Keep in mind, I'm going to repeat myself, 3 days. Just 3. When I came home back to Houston, I was so excited. I was like, yeah, I get to see you, blah, 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 yada, yada. So I went out, and I knew he was going to be at the same place because he told me. So we were all having fun. Girl, I got a little drunk. I was just all like, oh my God, come get me. Oh my God, save me. You know, like when you're drunk, you just, oh my gosh. Oh my God. So he was like, oh yeah, I got this. My car was safe and sound at my friend's house, so I went to his crib. Side note, the outfit I was wearing. So since I was out, you know I was wearing an outfit that was showing some skin. So when you go out and you show skin, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna need some boob tape. Speaking of boob tape, I really want to try that Blondie, I think it's Bondi, that pen that like has glue in it or something. It's like clothing glue. If you use it, let me know some. I had on this top to where I had to put on double-sided tape. So I had like 5 pieces of tape on me, and I'm like just making sure that this top stays intact all day, and it did. I get to his crib, and obviously, you know, we feeling it, and I said, hold on, I'll be right back. So I went and I started to change into like the t-shirt that he gave me and like whatever, a pair of boxers. And so I was taking off my top in the bathroom, and then that damn tape, since it's double-sided, you have to take it off and kind of like pat it on something or fold it. So I was patting it in this man's trash. Just patting it. Oh. A used condom, hot, fresh, and ready, fell on my finger. And at that point, my top is half on, right? And it's just sitting here. Let me tell y'all how devastated I was. Because, baby, I was only gone for 3 days, you horny So I walked out and I had like tears. I can laugh now. But I was crying. I walked out. I was like, he was like, what's wrong? And I said, he said, oh. I said, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah, like she blocked me the same day to make you feel better. That makes me feel worse. What do you mean she blocked you? Like, what did you do? She blocked you the same day. I was just like frozen. I was so sad, y'all. I was like, it's only been 3 days. Because this is the thing. Can I say something? Can I say something? Obviously, that's not my boyfriend. So he can do whatever he wants to do. But like, don't let me see it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I like playing Delulu. You need to play along with my Delulu. Damn. And so he was like, Lauren, like, she don't mean nothing to me. Like, it's okay. Mind you, I went back in that bathroom and I just went like this. I washed my hands probably like 15 times and I was bawling crying, y'all. I was bawling crying and my whole body was actually shaking. And then he was like, are you still going to stay here? Or do you still want to stay? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So I literally just like laid down and I was shaking like this because I was drunk. Where am I going to go? I was drunk out of my mind. But I'm like filled with emotion. I'm just laying down on like the edge of this man's bed and I'm just like this, bawling, crying. The next day, I woke up the next day and I was still crying. He was like, I guess I don't want to hurt you, so I guess I gotta just do me. I was like, oh wow, okay, cute. Y'all, that same night, that like when I woke up the next morning and he told me that and I drove home just upset as hell, that same night I went to a party. That man walked in with 3 women. And not only did he walk in there with 3 women, they sat next. He like walked them in like this and like sat them next to me. I said, okay, motherfucker. Because who do you think you are? I went to this thing by myself. It was a watch party for, I think, a fight. I know it was Ryan Garcia. I don't remember who the other one was, but that was a long time ago. But yeah. And he keeps looking at me like. But then what's crazy is like months after I realized that those girls were just a part of him and like this big friend group. But the way he like presented it made it seem like it was just not that. Like it was like, oh, I came in with all these girls, I'm taking care of them. It was horrible. Like that was crazy. I was like, are you out of your mind? I went in my car, I ran to my car. One of my friends, she came to the car, she saw me in there just like sad. I hate being in positions to where I am like by myself and I see stuff like that and all I have is like just me and my thoughts and my emotions at that time. So I just have to leave. I have to run. You know what I'm saying? So I left by myself and sat in my car and blocked him and I drove home. And time he would just always try to just say something. And I'm like, I can't forget that. You know what I'm saying? Like he would always circle back around and I'm like, I can't forget that at all. And the thing about me is like once I get turned off, like if you do me butt ass dirty, I'll be done. We weren't even in a relationship, right? So it's good. Like we don't gotta be in our feelings about it. Like we good. I let go of my little cry and now we're good. But y'all wanna know something funny? That night when that next day after I found that stuff on my finger, when I got home, I was still so disgusted. Y'all don't understand how disgusting that shit is. I was still so disgusted that I brought down all these hand wipes, hand sanitizer, what do you call that soap? That dish soap. I was like scrubbing the mess out of my hand. I scrubbed probably 10 times. Y'all, I'm like really traumatized. And during that time, I really had like the worst trust issues ever because I'm like, damn, I always find things out and I don't even ask for it. It literally will just fall on my lap and I'm like, oh, Merry Christmas. But I say that because I now want to talk to y'all. I want to say something. If you are in college, understand that your dating life, if you're lucky, then cool, you find your college lover, whatever. But most likely, you're going to run into a lot of bullshit for your very first time. And that shit is going to suck. You're not going to know what to do sometimes. Understand that you really got to pour into yourself and love yourself and really try to learn who you are during that time so that you don't fall into a cycle of always being put into those situations and not understanding why. So for example, I understood that I was too nice. If I started seeing red flags, I would dismiss them and think like, oh, well, they're people. Like, everybody's not perfect. I used to make excuses for people's red flags. Do not do that. I don't care how fine he is. I don't care how nice he is to you. If there's something that does not fit, this soda is whooping my ass from the back. If you have non-negotiables and that person just does not cut it, no matter how sweet and whatever, they can be your friend or you can just move on. Please, please take that advice. Please. I understand how fun it is sometimes to do it for the plot. I know. I hear it. I've been there, done that. I'm 25. I'm about to be 26 soon. And I will say that ever since I started pouring into myself and loving on myself, I'm not saying I've run into better prospects. Well, now I have. I feel like how you approach dating and talking to people will change completely. Because now I'm like talking and it's peaceful and it's actually very lovely because I stuck with my non-negotiables. I'm just trying to grow as a person. I don't want to be the same. I don't want my mind to stay at a certain size. I want it to continue to expand. I read all the time. I educate myself all the time. I'll watch lectures on YouTube. I try not to consume so much online because y'all, a lot of people online will spread such toxic shit and leave y'all in the gutter. They tell you, hey, do this and do that and do that, but baby, they are setting you up for fail. Because they do that and they think that shit is fun. I don't think toxic stuff is that fun. I'm so sorry. Back then, everything was just new. Like me going to a man crib, I was like, oh, shit. Now, shit ain't funny. And then looking back, it never was. And only entertain it if it makes sense. Please, don't set yourself up to be in a position to where you're just going to get your feelings hurt. Please. And then lastly, for everybody else, I think the dating pool is actually pretty bad. But I think this is just such a good time to pour into ourselves and to like explore our creative outlets and to try new things. I'm about to graduate with my master's in business. I decided to just randomly go back to school to get a business degree because I want to explore avenues in entrepreneurship and marketing and stuff like that while I pursue my music and film efforts and everything. So I just think what I'm trying to say is, without saying too much, is that the moment that I started working towards the things that really mattered to me and pouring all this love into me, listening to the word, and filling my mind, my heart, my spirit with positive and fulfilling things, everything changed. Everything changed. My mental health, my dating life, my skin, my hair, my physical body, my perspective, how I view things, how I talk to people, how I walk into a room, everything changes. Everything is more magnetic now because I let go of them past habits. I let that go. Baby, you don't want to put yourself in a position where a used condom falls on your finger with a guy that you're supposed to be exclusively talking to. Y'all, let's get up. Let's stand up. Stand up! Don't make life about a man. Or if you're a man watching this, please don't make life about a woman. You are doing yourself and also that person a disservice by ruining their experience just because you have insecurities and because you're not ready. Like, please listen to me. Pour into you and do it when you're ready. And sometimes people are not ready, but they're working on themselves and they're finding people that come up during that path towards that destination. And they're both like on the same mindset. That's okay. That's okay. But I'm talking about people who need to change and don't want to change. Stay away from that shit. I became Oprah. I'm sorry. Since this is becoming a series that I'm just falling in love with, I know there's some new followers here. I'm gonna open the comments. I already know kind of what I want to talk about. Next video is gonna be more of an advice video, but I want to know what you guys want to hear. I have way more stories to tell for sure. It's not just dating. There's just other stories that I can tell also. But I just want to grow the Girl Pullover series. Reading y'all's comments made my day. Like hearing that y'all were listening on the treadmill, you know, doing it while you were doing your skincare, your makeup routines and stuff like that. I appreciate it so much. And crazy enough, I used to like struggle so much with speaking. So I'm really proud of myself for doing stuff like that. Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on TikTok, the link is in my bio. If you're watching this on YouTube, just go ahead and click that button and the like and leave a comment and share it. But I'm about to get back on the road, baby, because auntie is hungry and I'm tired. All right. Oh, I hurt my foot. Bye, guys.
Why I had to stop talking to this John because she kept getting R-worded online, talking to people online. And I know what y'all gonna say. That's why you stopped talking to her, because of that. Now listen. I'm explaining, right? So I was talking to this John, you know, I met her online, what's up? We was talking, and I never met with her. We was just talking online. So when it's time for us to kind of meet, like, I asked her out, like, to meet or whatever. She like, oh yeah, we can meet. You know, I'm just a little nervous because of situations I had in the past meeting people offline, right? I'm like, cool. I'm like, oh yeah, what happened? You know what I mean, I'm not no crazy bull or anything like that, right? So she proceeds to tell me that she got R-worded twice from meeting people offline, right? So I'm thinking in my head like, damn, that's crazy as shit, right? That's the first thought that go to my head. The second thought that go to my head, and when I stopped talking to her, is because you are making bad decisions. You mean? Now, I'm not saying she deserved to get R-worded or anything like that. Absolutely not, right? Absolutely not. What I'm saying though, you need to not put yourself in these situations, because what she asked me, she was like, oh yeah, are you gonna R-word me? And I said, no, I'm not. But I'm thinking in my head, even if I was, why would I tell you that? Like, you asked me that question, I could just lie and say no. Like, why would I come out and say, yeah, I'm going to R-word you? Like, what kind of stuff is that, right? So this is why I say her decision making is bad, because she was trying to link with me. After she told me that, I'm like, all right, cool. We don't got to meet up right now. We could just keep talking for like another week or two, and then we could meet up. So we started talking for another, not even a week or two. We started talking like 3 more days and shit. She's like, oh yeah, you could come. You know, can you bring some alcohol? I told her I don't drink, but she said, oh, she could drink whatever. She said, can you bring some alcohol and some weed? I'm like, all right, cool. But didn't you say you just got R-worded twice from meeting somebody off, like meeting people offline, two balls offline? So why, when you meet me, do you want to be inebriated, high, and like not sober mind, like not yet sober mind, where you couldn't be taken advantage of if that was what type of time I was on? You mean? And I'm thinking in my head like, yeah, nah, I can't link with you and I can't talk to you anymore because your decision making is bad, and I don't know what type of situations you will lead me into. Because why? First of all, why are you still talking to people online if you got R-worded? Why are you still trying to talk to and meet up with people online if you got R-worded twice online already? First, that's already crazy to me. I wouldn't be online at all. I would not be meeting nobody online if that happened to me the first time, right? Let alone twice, right? Third, why are you trying to meet up with me so quick after you just said that? You mean? After you just said what happened to you? Third or fourth, I lost track. Whatever point I'm on. Why would you want me to bring alcohol and weed so you can be inebriated, not sober, like not in your clear conscious mind or whatever, where you can be taken advantage of and R-worded? Like, and that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't be R-worded at all, like point blank period. But also, it's like you could kind of avoid. Well, these situations could have been avoided, because from how you talk, from what I see, these situations could have been avoided because you putting yourself in these predicaments. I mean, I'm gonna reiterate again: nobody should be R-worded at all, but you should also want to protect yourself and not just put yourself in crazy and dangerous predicaments, right? Like, I just couldn't understand why she wanted to meet with me after you just said that. It baffled me. I'm like, all right, I don't want to meet with you anymore, bro. Like, that's because that's not the type of time I was on trying to do that. So I'm thinking like, I don't want to meet with you because I don't know what type of situation you're in. Y'all think I was wrong for like stop talking to her and all that? I just blocked her and went on with my business and shit like that, because she had a whole bunch of other shit going on too, but I'm not gonna get into that. I'm just stay right here on that part of what she had going on. And yeah, y'all think I made the right decision? Because I feel like I would be in a crazy predicament messing with her.
Story time about my baby daddy, because bitch, this is funny. I was just sitting here thinking about this. Okay, a few years ago, my baby daddy, he got pew-pewed, okay? I know his mental was not there. Mind you, he had kids before mine. He had a family before mine. So I guess at that time, you know, he's like, damn, like I almost lost my life. Like I want to be with the kids that I already have because I was pregnant at the time. And I guess he wanted to be with his first baby mama. But bitch, you could have just said that. Okay, but he never said that. So I came home one day and he was gone. His phone was there. His clothes was there. He had all his shoes there. Everything was at my house, but he was MIA. Weeks had passed. Ain't heard from him. Ain't seen him. Nothing. Mind you, again, I'm pregnant at this time. Okay, so I remembered that he had a doctor's appointment, but I could not remember the time, day, nothing. So me being me, I calls the doctor office. I'm like, hi, yeah, this is Mrs. And I say his last name. Mind you, at the time, that was just my baby daddy, but now he's my husband. But I was like, hi, yeah, this is Mrs. whatever. He has a doctor's appointment, but we can't remember the time or day. So, bitch, they give me all the info. So that day of the appointment, I'm there an hour early, but I'm sitting across the street because I just want to peep the scene first. I'm trying to see who he pulling up with. I'm just trying to, I'm trying to see. Girl, his baby mama car pull up. Pissed me off. So they park. I pull over there. I park right beside them like, hello? They gets out the car. I gets out the car. Shit, we all inside the appointment, all three of us. He check in. She sit across the room. I sit beside him because, babe, I've been missing you. Like, what's up? So then they called him to go back or whatever. We all three go back there. His first baby mama ended up calling his mom. Like, yeah, asked me here, whatever. Of course, she was trying to make it seem like I was acting crazy. But, bitch, I wasn't acting crazy. I was just trying to see what was up. So his mom was at work, so his mom couldn't come. So his mom called her sister. His auntie. I have her on here. She's going to see this. She probably ain't going to think it's funny, but I'm sorry. I think it's funny now. So, yeah. So his auntie is like, so which one do you want to leave? He like, it don't matter. I'm like, oh, well, she can leave. Mind you, he rode with her, so she should have, bitch, you rode with me. Like, what do you mean it don't matter? But yeah, so I'm like, oh, well, since it don't matter, she can go. And so then his auntie was like, nah, you get up and go. But I don't think I got up. I don't remember getting up. But I do remember the doctor coming in there, and I think the doctor felt like, felt the vibe. It was pretty fucking weird. And then I think the doctor was like, both of y'all could leave. I don't know. I could have been the one to leave. I don't know. But I was just sitting here thinking about that, and that shit was so funny. Am I delusional? Am I crazy? Do I need to know? But yeah, I just wanted to tell y'all that because I just thought it was funny.
Story time about how my mom beat the living crap out of me. Literally black and blue because she found out that I had a boyfriend way older than me. So I'm going to call this boy Jay, right? And we have been talking for around 6 months or a little bit more. And he was 22 and I was 15. So boom, the day when everything occurred. So it was a Friday and I didn't go to school that day, and I was going to be dropping off some birthday decorations for my sister's birthday party at her school, right? So I had called Jay the day before and I was like, could you bring me to my sister's school tomorrow, which was Friday, which is the day this is happening, because it's her birthday and I don't want to call Uber because you drive. So I'm from a small community, and where I'm from, our Ubers are not luxury vehicles. Tell me why Jay pulls up in front of my house in a luxury vehicle. I'm like, what is this car doing here? So I call him on the phone, and I'm like, I don't see you. Where are you at? He's like, I'm just outside your house. Like, I'm parked outside your house. Come out. And I'm like, is that your car? What are you doing with this luxury car, bitch? So I put on a brave face, and I said, you know what? Nothing bad is gonna come out of it because my mom is not home. Nobody's home. I'm the only one that's home, and I'm going to be leaving home to go to my sister's birthday party. Okay, that's what I thought. So I get into the car and he takes off driving. When I think that he's going to be turning left to go to my sister's school, he turns right. So I'm asking him, where are we going? And keep in mind, I was supposed to be at my sister's school with the decorations from 5 minutes ago. So time is on my hands. So I'm getting a little fussy because I'm supposed to be at my sister's school 5 minutes ago and we're late. I'm literally running late and they're depending on me to start the party with the decorations. Literally. So we pull up. So he pulls up into a parking lot and he's like, chill, I just want to talk to you. So I say, okay, I could cut you like 3 minutes. So we're talking, and I'm actually getting frustrated right now because we need to leave. So he's trying to put on like a sexual vibe. I'm like, nope. No, boo. I did not sign up for this. If this is what you want, you are not going to get it, boo, because I told you I had only one aim when I got into this car, and it was to be at my sister's birthday party. Okay? So after I reject his sexual advance and I put my foot down and I'm like, I really need to go because it's 15 minutes that I'm running behind. We're running late by 15 minutes. I need to get to the school so I could help to put the decorations up and we can get the party running, right? So he takes off driving. We pull up to the drop-off area, and tell me why my sister's father is standing out there and my sister's teacher is standing out there literally waiting for me, and I'm walking out of a luxury vehicle like I'm going to be walking on the red carpet when I wasn't even supposed to be in a luxury vehicle in the first place. I'm dying inside because my sister's father runs his mouth a lot, okay? Every little thing he tells my mother. So I just have to put on a brave face and I just bring the decorations in and we just get to it. Not even 5 minutes of me being at the school, I get a call from my mother. My mother is like, where were you at? He said, which car did you come out of? Don't lie to me. Do not lie to me. Watch when I come home what I'm going to do to you. Bitch, when I say that I was fucking like trembling, I was trembling because I'm like, man, how did she get the news so quick? You know who told, bitch. So it's about like 2 hours later, me thinking that everything is gonna die down and everything, right? So my mom pulls up, she comes home, she closes all the doors. She comes to my bedroom door and she closes it, because you can close my bedroom door from inside my room. She closed my bedroom door and she told me to strip fucking naked, bitch. So when she came in, I was on the bed on my phone and I looked up, and when she said strip naked, I was like looking at her like this, puzzled, because I'm like, it's not me that you're telling to strip naked, because that would never freaking happen. So she's like, strip naked. And I'm like, no. I'm stubborn as hell. I said, no, I'm not stripping naked. She takes the belt from behind her and grabs me by my... She grabs me by my shirt and starts beating the living shit out of me. Bitch, at one point, I started fighting her. She's like, who are you fighting? Drop your hands. Drop your hands. Child, I was fighting for my freaking life. At one point, I fell to the ground, and she literally got over me and started stamping in my chest, in my stomach. She's like, if you got pregnant, I'm killing this bitch. Like, it's actually not that funny and I shouldn't be laughing, but it's like so long ago, so you know, you just remember and you laugh. But I wasn't even pregnant because I didn't even do anything. Like, I didn't even have sex or nothing. But she was like, oh, you want to be grown? Watch me and you. Watch me and you. And I got the shit beat out of me that day, bitch. I literally stopped talking to my mom for like 2 months straight. Never glimpsed at her, never talked to her, never nothing, bitch. I cut my mom off. My mom told me that if you know what is good for you, you never speak to him again. Else, if I catch you speaking to him or any contact with him, he's going to jail. And your ass is going to be put out of my house. And she grounded me and took my phone.
Yeah, bitches, that's me. And I know y'all want to know how the fuck I got here. It's alright, we about to get right into it. What's good, y'all? I'm Sanaa Blue, and welcome to the Ring Camera Story. Alright, so boom. Me and Samantha work together, right? So she's bisexual. Not telling her business, just giving some context. So prior to dealing with me, she was dealing with a guy that also worked at the job, or whatever the case may be, and me and her were cool around the time that they was dealing with each other. So when they stopped dealing with each other, she had vented to me about the situation. I gave her advice, you know, she communicated her feelings, how she felt, how he made her feel, etc., etc. Now, while she's having her issues with the guy that she was dealing with, I'm also having my own issues because I'm married, and I was having issues with my wife to where we were separated. Now, of course, I didn't tell Samantha all my marital problems, but she was well aware that I was married and that me and my wife were not together. Now, like I said, prior to us dealing with each other, we were cool, we were friends. So naturally, we had conversations. So Samantha did express that, you know, she was bisexual and that she wanted to start leaning towards dating women. So she never dealt with masculine presenting female, a stud, dyke, none of that. She strictly dated femmes. Now, I did mention to her she should date a stud. I also volunteered to find her a John, when she expressed she didn't want to find a John. You know, she just wanted to chill for me. So I just wanted to share that because I wanted to share some type of context to, you know, give y'all a feel of like how things started to shift. Again, we're conversing, you know, we're cool. So conversations between us started to get more flirty. It started to be clear that we found each other attractive, and things started to get more intense from there. Now, as me and Samantha started to get more acquainted, right, things started to happen, and I started to see shit that I didn't like about her. Number one, she drinks a lot. Now, if you want to be an alcoholic, fine. But don't make it seem like you being an alcoholic is not a problem, because it is. We would start getting into arguments, and whether she was under the influence or not, the outcome was still the same. She's emotionally avoidant. So let's say I would come to her with something that was bothering me, something that she did that I didn't like, right? I would communicate that to her. She would take it as I'm complaining. She would take it as I'm sensitive. And you got that right. She damn sure wouldn't change it. Another thing, she's very hypocritical and a liar. One time we had an argument and I confided in one of her friends and I spoke to her about the situation. Her friend went back, told her, you know, not in a menacing way, but just let her know that she spoke to me. She came to me and was upset, and she was like, oh, you're dealing with me, right? Keep our business between us. I never spoke to her friend or anybody else about the business between us ever again. But she decided, right? Instead of communicating the issues that she has with me, to me, that she's gonna communicate it to another young lady that we worked with. Now, this young lady is a stud. We're gonna call her Daddy Yankee. So Samantha would go confide in Daddy Yankee and tell her all of our business, right? Any argument that we had, she would tell her, but she would only tell her half the story. She would tell the parts that made her look good and the parts that made me look a mess. Now, Daddy Yankee would sit there and bring back a bone. Anything that Samantha confided in her and told her about our business, she would come back and tell me in like a joking way. And it's like, bitch, it's not funny. It's not, because you're playing both sides. So I told Samantha, like, hey, listen, can you please stop telling Daddy Yankee the business? Like, if you don't want me telling nobody, you don't tell nobody either. So she's like, you know what? You know, I understand she is messy or whatever the case may be. And she said that she would stop telling her, and she lied because she went right back to telling that girl everything. Now, Daddy Yankee is only like a small part of the story. You know, this is not like about her or anything like that. But I know I did mention that Samantha talked shit about Daddy Yankee. So I'm going to mention what she said, a couple of things. Number one, she calls her a hater. They were sitting they sit at a desk together, right? So she basically said how people will come and they'll say hi to her, and then Daddy Yankee will get offended, like, oh, you don't see me sitting here. Like, you know, she hates to not get attention while Samantha's getting attention. Okay, number two, she said that Daddy Yankee's wife was ugly. Daddy Yankee's wife came to the job. I don't know when. I didn't see her. And she said that Daddy Yankee's wife did not look how she looked in them pictures. She's ugly. I told her that she was wild and I told her that she was wrong. She thought it was funny. Cool. Number three, she also called Daddy Yankee ugly, because I sat there and I said, I don't understand why she's so heavily involved in our business. Why does she feel the need to have to converse with me and try to tell me how I should maneuver with you? Like, does she want you? Her immediate response was, ill. She's not my type. Okay, due to her telling Daddy Yankee all the business, it made me not want to tell her certain stuff. So on New Year's, I fell in my house. I hit my head. I was rushed to the hospital. They ran mad tests. One of the tests they ran was a scan on my head. They said they didn't see anything. Couple days later, I get a call saying that they actually seen something. They see some swelling and they feel like I should get a second opinion. So of course they let me know the different possibilities. One of the possibilities being cancer. So my dumb ass decided, because I wasn't speaking to Samantha during that time, because this was New Year's and we had a whole fight, I could get into that too, I decided to confide in Daddy Yankee, who went back and told Samantha everything that I told her, because, you know, she was worried and she felt like that was something that Samantha needed to know. So Samantha came to me asking me mad questions about my head and all this, that, and the third. Mind you, I really didn't know anything, because again, I had to get a second opinion. So I was still iffy on telling her because she has a big ass mouth. Now, I did have a small issue finding a neurologist, because I needed to find one that took my insurance. And once I did, I kept like switching the appointments around because I was scared as fuck. And Samantha took it as, oh, I didn't want her to come because I had something to hide, or that I was lying about having cancer, which didn't make sense at all, because I never said I had cancer. So when she said I was talking about lying about having cancer for her attention, that's what she was talking about. Let's address the next thing. I lied about having a broken limb for her attention. As if. Okay, boom. So I fell off of a ladder back in December before New Year's, obviously.
I just fell off the step stool and I landed on my shoulder. I am in so much pain.
And I had my arm in a sling. My wrist was sprained and my shoulder was sprained. And I was still going to work making my bread. Making my bread. Mind you, the bitch seen my arm lock up. I would do push-ups and shit, or she'll be in here, my shoulder would lock up. So I don't understand how the fuck I'm gonna fake that. Now that I'm giving y'all context, let's get down to the nitty and the gritty. The Ring camera. The story behind the Ring camera. Okay, her birthday is February, right? Early February. So due to us falling on and off, being, you know, in and out, speaking and then not speaking, I didn't plan nothing. I got her a card. I made her a custom card or whatever. And I got her a bottle, you know, she was in here, she brought her birthday in here. Cool. The next day, I had to work. You know, the morning of her birthday, I had to work, so she drove me to work. She went to the spa, you know, she enjoyed herself, all of that, cool. So the plan was for her birthday that she was gonna go to a dinner, go to a club. After that, she was supposed to come to my crib, sleep off her liquor, you know. 9 times out of 10, I was gonna pick up a shift. I didn't communicate that yet because I didn't know. And she was just gonna stay in my crib if I worked the shift and just sleep, you know, and, you know, vibe out and just sober up. So what ended up happening was she got mad lit. I woke up because I did pick up a shift for that Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, and she didn't, you know, she didn't call me, she didn't text me, nothing. So I'm sitting there, I'm calling her, I'm trying to, you know, make sure she good. I didn't get no messages, no nothing. So I was fake worried because I'm like, damn, like, did something happen to her? Like, you know, because I know how she like to drink. Boom, I get to the train, I want to say it's like maybe 6, 7 o'clock. She calls me and I answer. So I'm like, you know, where are you? She was like, oh, she fell asleep outside. I'm thinking she's actually outside. So I was like, you They left you outside. All the people that you was partying with, they left you outside. That's mad fucked up. So I feel some type of way because I'm like, damn, like how the fuck y'all just violate and leave outside like that? That's messed up. She specified. Remember that man that I told y'all she was messing with prior to me and we worked together? Right. She fell asleep in his car. Now we're gonna call this man Lucas. So when she told me she fell asleep in Lucas' car, I was a little behooved. Because I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you didn't even have to sleep in it. How did you even get in his car? Like, she told me, that he ended up coming to her section for her birthday. He wasn't invited, but somebody else that she invited, they brought him, and she just decided to let him vibe out. So she was like, I don't want you to think it was like that. I invite him, so I'm like, okay, no problem. Got on the train, I told her where to meet me at, cool. So now she's on the phone with me when I get off, I'm waiting for her outside. It's 3 degrees. Y'all can go and check the weather back. It was 3 degrees outside. So I'm on the phone with her, I'm waiting for her. I'm like, where you at? She's like, we down the block. I'm thinking she's in an Uber until she asked this man,
do you want me to drive?
So I was like, who you with, your brother? So she was like, no, Lucas. Now I couldn't understand why the fuck she would have this man drive her to the site when I've already expressed to her in the past that he would act weird. Never had an issue with the brother, okay? He stopped speaking to me and he started moving weird because, again, they used to deal with each other. Once he seen how, comfortable me and her got, he started straying away, not speaking, moving funny, the usual. So I just started moving accordingly. He didn't speak, I didn't speak, and it wasn't no friction, but I just knew it was some type of weird tension there, and it wasn't coming from me. Now remember, I told y'all I would tell this motherfucker things that bothered me, and she would sit there and it would go in one ear and come out the other. She didn't care. She would call me sensitive. She would say I'm complaining. She would say, it's not that serious. She would say I'm dragging it. And one of the things I expressed to her was to limit her communication with this individual, with Lucas. He would do like funny shit, because he still had feelings, and it was evidently clear that he still liked her. And she was like, I don't see that. She seen it. Now, did I care that he still likes her? No. I cared that how she was reacting. I cared that I'm coming to you, expressing to you, I'm seeing funny shit, and you're not paying it no mind. Now, this is when she start paying it some motherfucking mind. They get to the site, right? I approach the vehicle. I give her my key, right? So she tells me, I'm gonna just take a cab. I'm like, all right, cool. My mindset, I'm trying to get inside. I'm already 2 minutes late. Take the cab, I'll give you the money back. Cool. I didn't tell her that, but that was my mindset. I see that they still parked outside. Now, I walked into the wrong entrance of the building, so I had to walk back out and walk around. I see they still sitting here, so I'm like, okay. I called her, like, you good? She's like, no, not really. I hear Lucas in the back talking about myself. I'm not driving you to Brooklyn. Tell that dyke bitch to put you in the cab. That's your bitch, right? So I'm like, all right, let me go back out. I'm gonna go back out because he sounded mad aggressive. Not saying, he's like a woman beater. He ever showed any type of energy like that, but he was intoxicated. People do different things when they're intoxicated. So I didn't know if he was gonna hit her or not, so I came back out. So I'm like, all right, what's going on? Never had no issue with him. We never exchanged no words. And I was saying that, what's going on? You call me dyke bitches and stuff, what's up? He was like, fuck out of here, I'm drunk. I'm not no Uber. I'm like, all right, she gonna take a cab. It's cool. He wanted her out the car. So I opened the door and I was trying to get out the car. He's sitting there, still calling me a dyke bitch, still saying mad wild shit. He was like, I'm a man, I'm 6 foot this, and you a lady. I know I'm a lady. What you saying that for? I know you a man, I know I'm a lady. What you saying that for? So middle of all of that, I'm trying to get out the car. I'm not talking to him. No, I'm like, I'm not gonna entertain you because you lit, bro. It's cool. Boom. This man hops over his backseat, kicks the side door open, and calls himself trying to run up on me in the middle of traffic on 7th Avenue at 7 in the morning. So I backed up from his car, nigga, what the fuck is you on? Hold on. So I'm backing up. I'm like, all right, you got it. What the fuck? Mind you, at the same time, it's cars coming. So I don't want to get hit by a car. I'm really not even worried about this man. I'm worried about all these cars coming. So I'm sitting here trying to duck and dodge the cars. He's sitting here, he's not even paying attention. So I'm looking at the cars behind him because even with us going back and forth, I don't want you to get hit by no car, nigga. What the fuck? So eventually he, all drunk, as soon as his feet hit the pavement, I could tell he was intoxicated. He started swerving and all of this. And he got right back in the car. She was out. She ended up coming across the street. I got mad because I was like, you stay here, you put me in a position because you should have never been in this man's car. As many times as I told you, limit the conversation with him because he still got feelings for you. That right there just proved that he still got feelings for you. So she didn't care about that. All she cared about is the fact that I asked her for my key back because I was telling her she gotta go somewhere else because I didn't like what she just did. I didn't like that. That was very sneaky. I didn't like it. So she got mad you just gonna leave me stranded. We sitting there, I'm asking her what's her other option. She didn't have none. So because again, it was 3 degrees, I gave her my key and I let her come to my house and sleep off her liquor. When I got home, I recorded a video while she was speaking because she had her makeup from her birthday on. She didn't shower. She was just laying in my bed. I told her, if you speak to this young man again, I will never speak to you again. Because not only did he disrespect me, he disrespected you too. She was like, all right, I'm not gonna talk to him. But I just felt like she was lying because it didn't even sound confident. The next day comes, she's moving funny. She's not really talking to me like that. I'm not no ass kisser. You feel me? I've tried to communicate and work things out with her in the past. She didn't care. So I was like, fuck it. So I started, she being distant, I'm being distant. The next day after that, she's talking back to this young man. I'm peeping it, I'm not saying nothing. As I expressed before, whenever me and her would stop speaking, her friends would join in, they'll act funny, they follow behind her, they do a whole bunch of lame shit. Mind you, everybody older than me. I just want to put that out there. So, age definitely doesn't define maturity, but here we are. Everybody would start doing like weird shit, and I got tired of that shit. It's between me and you, then let it be between me and you. You keep being funny, you acting one way around these people, but then you get around me, you all in love, and you all, affectionate, you feel me? Like you on my dick. But then you get around these people, you want to flip the script and make it seem like something else. But yes, I posted the video of her saying that she didn't want to shower and she didn't want to take her makeup off. Now, was I wrong for posting the video and recording her in a vulnerable state where she trusted me? Yes, I was. But did I feel bad about it? No, because I wanted her to feel embarrassed how I felt embarrassed. Does that justify me posting it? Hell no. But I'm just giving y'all context on why I posted it. I can acknowledge that I was wrong and I can take accountability. While we was in the lobby of her building talking, that's one of the things that I brought up. I explained that everything I just told y'all, why I posted the video and everything and about me being wrong, I said that to her. We started speaking, cool. I ended up going home. And we started texting, and she, I asked her, when she went to see me again, and she told me, oh, you tell me, you got the flexible schedule, and we started planning stuff, cool. Now, as days started going by, like, she really started giving me her ass to kiss because the objective, of her mindset was that I had to earn her trust back due to me posting the video. And that's not a problem. But what you're not going to do is make it seem like I am the only person that did something. And she would always do that. She would not acknowledge anything that she did wrong. She would not sit there and take any accountability unless she was drunk. That's the only time she would want to talk and be all, like affectionate and, and it just didn't make sense to me because I would sit there and give her the floor because I would tell her, you don't make me comfortable to come to you at any time to talk about anything. And she got upset with that and she was like, oh, well, I don't want to talk about this right now. We could have talked about this earlier. Okay, but I don't put a time frame on when you could talk to me about shit. Her response was, oh, I know, but I wouldn't just come to you but you can. That's the thing. You can come to me, but I can't come to you. That's weird. So for the next couple of days, we really wasn't speaking like that. It was more so like a back and forth. Like, I'm trying to express myself to her. She wasn't hearing it. She didn't care. During the week, I think it was a Friday, I worked with her friend that was in the Ring camera. And we were talking about the different sites or whatever. And we started talking about the site that we was on at or whatever. And she mentioned that she knew her. So I was like, oh, yeah, like, that's my little boo or whatever. The reason I was like keeping it cool, like, oh, yeah, that's my boo is because I didn't want to include her friend in our business because it didn't have nothing to do with her. And I didn't want to make it seem like, oh, I'm just bad-mouthing this girl to anybody. You feel me? So she basically had called her and was like, oh, look who I'm here with. And she had this, like, nasty face. Like, and then her friend gave me her phone. And she was like, I didn't want to talk to you. I don't know why she gave you. So I gave her the phone back. Cool. She was just rude for the whole day. She didn't, didn't check on me, nothing like that. Cool. Fast forward to the afternoon. She calls. And she's like, oh, you didn't get my message? And I was like, no, I didn't get your message. She asked me for money. I said, are you going to be nice to me? She said, that's her way of being nice, asking me for money. Now, she threw this bum word around, and again, I'm behooved. Because anytime that this young lady asked me for money, I sent it to her. So no, I didn't want to send her money, and I was like, I'm not sending you money. So she got mad. Cool. I leave, I go home, I'm sleeping. She calls me. She calls me drunk, driving. She said that she wants to get cracked. Okay, no problem. Came here, cracked. When she got here, she started hooting and hollering, drunk and disorderly, upset, asking me why I didn't send her money. And I told her, because you rude. That's why. You sit there, you talk to me however you feel like talking to me, disrespectful. I don't have to send you my money. You're not entitled to my bread. If I want to send you money, I'll send it. I didn't want to send you money this one time, so I didn't send it. So she got mad, started calling me bitches, everything. I told her, get out of my house. She didn't want to leave. On top of that, I kind of felt bad because she was heavily intoxicated. And she drives. So how you going? You feel me? So I'm like, okay. Next morning she get up. Didn't say nothing. She was just being real rude. And then walking into her car. She didn't say nothing to me. Now we had plans to go out. We didn't go out. I didn't hit her up. She didn't contact me. She hit me up later on that night. And she was like, oh, that's mad messed up. You didn't say nothing to me. I could have went through with my plans. You could have. You could have. Nobody was stopping you. Instead of saying all of that, my response to her was, I'm tired of you treating me weird. I'm not talking to you no more. I'm good. So, and I include that up there. So after that, I didn't say anything to her. I let her talk to herself. Like I told you, I'm legally married. So my wife's birthday is April 2nd. I took her out. We got fucked up. Came back in here. Niggas was sleeping. While we're going out for her birthday, Samantha and the Manthettes are watching my wife's page. I didn't say nothing else to her. There was no contact. Now, she was watching Face, right? She was watching my wife's page, watching her IG story and everything. She saw that my wife posted that she was in my house. So she decided to take it upon herself to come here at 1 in the morning with 2 of her friends and got to banging on my goddamn door talking about some she didn't come to fight or be messy. She came to have a conversation. No, you came intoxicated because she was under the impression that, oh, I cut her off to go back to my wife. No, I'm not with anybody. And if I was, it really ain't nobody goddamn business because, mind you, this is my life. If I tell you that I'm good off you and I don't want to fuck with you no more, then I'm good off you and I don't want to fuck with you no more. And some people in the comments basically said like, oh, that I jumped right up. No, Bookie, I had to cut some of the footage because anybody that got a Ring camera know that it be stretching out unnecessary time. You could just clip it and get to the point. So when I opened the door and she sat there talking about some, oh, I know she's in there, she was referring to my wife. That's why I said, so what? Because I don't deal with you. I just told you I'm not fucking with you no more, so it really don't matter what you have to say. Because when I tried to talk to you, you didn't want to communicate. So I go back inside because I'm like, all right, I'm not doing this. I'm tired. I'm still a little drunk. Like, and I got work in the morning. So I left from the hallway, went back in the house. She called herself trying to make it seem like she's pushing the door and everything. Boom, I pushed the door back, close it. I don't really understand why she's sitting here saying, oh, she came to fight. She didn't come to fight. Because she said in my text messages, oh, I didn't come to be on no rah-rah stuff, or, oh, I came to talk, and you sat there and called the cops on me just because I came to talk. No, I asked her to leave my door. Was I dismissive? Absolutely, but how could I not at 1 in the morning? It could have been a text. This could have been an email. You sit here coming to my door. I am not the only person that live here. Okay, it's older people that live on my floor. You're mad loud in this hallway. Of course I didn't call the cops to press any charges. Why would I do that? I called the cops to scare her and get her the fuck away from my door. I bet you it got her the fuck away from my door. So boom. The next day, not even the next day, a couple hours later, I get up for work. I post a Ring camera for it. I didn't even think about it. I posted it. And I didn't think everybody was gonna be mad because I'm like, all right, we all up here. We all up here now. It's different from the whole Fine Shit a Little Dirty video because everybody's up there. Me, her, the Manthettes. So what are we mad about? Once shit hits the fan and the videos start going viral, the Ring camera footage, I get text messages from her cursing me out, saying, oh, how she could have smacked me and she was gonna do this and do that, and she did nothing. So we going back and forth. She's posting in her story on IG. I posted in my story on IG. I end up going live. She joins the live. We're going back and forth. She's saying, oh, that she wants to fight. Okay, cool. I had told her that I had to cover at another site. Cool. I told her to come to my house after or whatever. We started going back and forth about where to fight at or whatever. And I told her, I ended up telling her to come to my house. I got off at like 1 in the morning. Instead of coming to the house, she came to the site. She didn't get out her car. She had her friend that was with her get out the car and take a video of me, I guess, trying to make me seem like I was pussy. Odd. After her friend took the video, they drove away. They left. I didn't know that they left because, obviously I'm inside the job. I come out to get food. And it's like soon as I stepped foot outside, my phone started ringing. It was her. So I'm thinking they see me. So I have my hair wrap in my bag. So I'm like, let me go back and get my hair wrap because bitches, they gonna pull my locks the fuck out of here. So boom. As I'm coming like back out from getting my hair wrap, she texts me and she's like, girl, just answer. Like, I didn't call you on no rah-rah. So I'm telling her, hold on, right? I'm telling her, oh, give me a second, because I'm trying to see if I have my red phone so I can record the conversation. Boom. I answer. I was like, I'm gonna just screenshot or try to screen record. I answer the phone, y'all. She started crying. She burst into tears. She told me, you violated me. I dead loved you. I cared about you. Mind you, she was in my text messages earlier saying I should use me. I'm ugly. She was embarrassed to be seen with me. She was never in love. All this extra shit. So it's like, which one is this, sweetheart? Why are you crying? Screenshot. Had to. This is a woman that says, oh, I'm a thug. I don't cry. Please, I could have came up here like, oh yeah, she dead cried. That bitch lying. She ain't cry. Okay. Like, oh, that's bad fucked up. Like, you saying there, you violated me. You was just with me. Okay, and I told you I'm not fucking with you. You came to my crib. Like, I didn't come to your crib to fight or be messy. You did. You knew that my wife was there. and you said that you saw something that you didn't like, mind you shouldn't even be up there anyway, but you tried to be funny and you ended up looking dumb. After she started crying and stuff, niggas hung up the phone. You feel me? I hung up the phone on her. I ain't wanna, like, all right, you crying and stuff like that. You wasn't crying when you was all on social media calling me bitches and calling me bum ass bitches and calling me ugly and shit like that. She had texted me like, oh, it is what it is, like, it's cool, And I kind of felt bad, I'm not gonna lie. But then she woke up the next morning and she was like, oh, you know, take the video down. Her friends or whoever was calling my phone private, so I told her, like, if your friends keep playing on my phone, I'm gonna put the video back up. Like, but then I thought about it because I'm not a bad person. So I was like, all right, I felt like I did a little too much, like, with the whole live, because they was tearing her. And I felt bad, so I was like, damn, like, okay. So I wanted to let the situation die down a little bit before I just go approach her. I didn't want to come to her house or nothing like that, you feel me? So I was like, you know, I'll just try to maybe catch her by the job or something like that. I seen her car, so I was like, all right, I'll just, you know, I'll wait right here. Like, I didn't wait up on her car, I waited across the street. I seen her walking, I approached her, and I was like, oh, can I talk to you? You know, I just wanted to apologize. She's like, I don't want to talk to you. So I was like, still letting her know, like, you know, it's not about me trying to get back with you or nothing like that. I'm just trying to strictly apologize for the way I mishandled the situation, you know, and my wrongdoings and my role in the situation. Just, you know, just a genuine apology. Like, what the fuck? She got in her car. I seen her, like, fidgeting with her phone, but I'm thinking she, like, texted somebody trying to tell them, like, oh, this bitch is here, she da-da-da, whatever. She was recording me. And she tried to make it seem like I was coming back to fuck with her again. And it wasn't even that. It was just me trying to apologize because I was just simply wrong in certain portions of this whole enchilada. Like, that's really it. Like, it takes two, and I can only apologize for the wrongdoing that I've done. So that's what I was trying to do, but you feel me? So what I failed to mention, when she came in, you know, she was on the Ring camera. My wife had wrote her around that time, asking her to, you know, rumble. She decided to respond Wednesday, 2 days after I came to apologize, 2 days after she secretly recorded me. Her and my wife started going back and forth, and then she put the video up of me apologizing in her story, and trying to make it seem like something that it's not. Yesterday, I get up here, I'm scrolling, and I see Miss Mantha Mack commenting on the Ring camera footage, so I click on her page, because she told us, oh, story time, tune in. I click on her page, I see 525,600 videos of her in this cheap blue loungewear, spreading lies. So naturally, I had to come up here and make a fucking story time. But yes, bitches, that concludes the story time. This will be the last time that I address this whole situation. I would like to move on. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Good night.
Actually, I have one more thing to mention before we go. The bitch has a video up of me on her page, and it says, someone tell my Ring camera bae to come back home. I was trolling. For the longest, her friends, whoever be watching my page and reporting back to her, okay? I wanted to post the video to see if it made it back to her. I wanted to see if niggas were still watching my page. It did. They are. Thank you, and good night.
So story time on how I found out I was pregnant with my son. So I was 15, right? And I had met my son's father. We was literally kids. Like, we met in my hometown. One thing led to another, boom, boom, bang. So I had noticed that my cycle didn't come, right? Mind you, I'm 15. I'm like, okay, damn, like, I noticed my cycle didn't come. It didn't come for like 3 months. Now, at the time, I literally was trying to, like, get it out of my head that I'm even pregnant. I'm like, nah, I'm not pregnant. So I just kept asking my older sister, like, if I miss my period for 3 months, does that mean I'm pregnant? Or no, maybe it's just cycle change. Then, apparently, my nosy stepbrother had overheard me and my older sister conversation and had said something to my stepdad. So my stepdad was working at the hospital. He was working at a hospital at the time, and he was able to get at-home pregnancy tests from the hospital. So he came to me, and he was like, Jenna, I need you to take this test. And I'm like, who done told my business? Who told my business? Who was listening to me and my sister conversation? So I took the test. Next thing you know, boom, I'm pregnant. Again, if you new here, I grew up in a Muslim household. I grew up in a Muslim community. Okay? So getting pregnant early on was... Getting pregnant and not being married was already just a big thing. Like, I was the talk of the town. You hear me? Like, oh my God. So my mom, she was upset because, you know, we had just lost my grandmother maybe like
a couple of weeks before that, we had lost my grandmother. So it was like my grandmother passed away, and then me, boom, here we go. I'm pregnant. Okay. So found out I was pregnant, and listen, I'm gonna do a part 2.
Part 2 on how I found out I was pregnant with my son at 15. So I left off at my grandmother passing, right? And my mother was really having a hard time because she was mourning her mom and also preparing to be a grandmother at the same time. So it's like at the time I was sad that my mother was upset, but I understood that it came from a place of her just like, oh my God, I'm stressed. Like my mom just passed, my youngest daughter is pregnant. Oh my God, like we are from the Muslim community, so she was dealing with sadness, embarrassment. She was dealing with a whole bunch of stuff, right? Okay, so as for me, I was scared, I was nervous. A lot of people around me was telling me to abort my son, and I'm just like, no. For one, I know I wasn't supposed to be pregnant, and bumping and grinding at the age I was doing it at, and the fact that I'm Muslim and I'm not married, but this is my first child. I don't want to abort my first child. So, you know, as the months went on, I definitely made it. It was like I was intentionally staying away from the Muslim community because I was getting phone calls and I was getting texts from my old friends from Muslim school asking me like, oh my God, like, is it true that you're having a baby? Like, oh my God. And I'm just like, yeah, like I'm having a baby. And I was also not trying to hide my pregnancy, but it's just my family was going through a lot at the time. Like I'm talking about from the Muslim community feeling ways and talking about us, and from family, like some of my own family was trying to they intentionally kept their daughters away from me because as if I was running a freaking get pregnant club, like, so I just was going through so many things, y'all. Like I'm not going to draw this video out. I'm definitely going to come back for a part 3 because it's a lot to unpack.
Part 3 on how I found out I was pregnant at 15 with my son. So the last part I stopped at was a lot of my family members were trying to keep their daughters away from me as if I was running some club, yes, let's get pregnant and have what club. That literally was not the case. It was not the case. That feeling alone felt horrible because you wouldn't think that your own family members would put you in a space where you're just contagious and you're just nasty. Like I just felt like they was disgusted that I was going to be a teen mom, So if I felt like that, imagine how my mom felt. Imagine how, my stepdad felt. So, okay, now this is when I had broke the news to my son's father. I didn't have it in my mind that I was pregnant by somebody else. I knew for a fact. I knew who the father was. Like, this wasn't no sleeping around thing. It was how it only takes one time. Yes, it only took one time. So when I told my son's father, like, hey, I'm pregnant, he goes, you sure? It's mine? That's like the worst thing a man could say when you tell them that you're pregnant. So I'm just like, nigga, you know damn well. Okay, maybe you don't know damn well, but I know damn well that you are the father. Cool. Okay, so now this is where things get a little deep. Me and my mom relationship was very rocky when we found out that I was pregnant. Because, again, I told y'all she was suffering a loss from her mom. Just how she's my best friend, my grandmother was her best friend. So she was really going through a hard time. But I was just too young to see it. I was too young to see it. And instead of sympathizing what she was going through, I was just angry that she wasn't sympathizing with me. And it hurt, but looking back on it, I'm just like, okay, you wasn't intentionally being tough. As time went on, things between me and her lightened up, right? But then I had got a call from one of my family members on my biological father's side, and they were just like, hey, let your biological father know that you're pregnant before he finds out from the Muslim community. I called this man and I was like, hey, I was just trying to get it over with. So I'm like, hey, I was just calling to let you know that I am pregnant. This man goes, you're stupid, you're dumb, and I hope that y'all take care of it. So I said, you're stupid, you're dumb, you've never been a real father to none of your kids, and my son is going to be very much well taken care of, and I am going to succeed in life. That had hurt me so much because I was just like, wow, you already have not ever been a father to me, and I'm calling to tell you this. In that moment, I was hoping for a little bit more, heartfelt sympathy, but instead it was just like, damn, now you're judging me how everybody else is already judging me. Like, wow. Like, just wow. From that moment, that really sparked a flame under me and just was like, listen, you are 16, you're 15, you're 15 years old. You need to do what you gotta do so you don't be a statistic. And that's exactly what I did. All right, y'all. So part 4 on how I found out I was pregnant at 15 with my son. So the last part I left at was when I broke the news to my biological father that I was pregnant, and he was like, you're stupid, you're dumb, etc. And I gave him that heat right back, because who you talking to? So now I'm going to fast forward to being in high school. I had a lot of support. Yeah, I didn't have a whole bunch of friends, but I had a good amount of friends that was literally by my side throughout high school. And I also had my family, of course. My mom wound up coming around and, just being there. My mom and my older sister actually was with me when I had my first OBGYN appointment. That experience alone was like, it's really a baby in here. Oh my. Then, I had my first ultrasound appointment. My first ultrasound appointment I had to do at, I believe it was Hackensack Hospital. Yeah, I believe it was at Hackensack Hospital. I found out I was having a boy. I was by myself. I did not have nobody in this appointment with me. I found out I was having a boy. And I was just like, okay, good. Because having a girl, my attitude, how I am, and how I was with my mom, having a little Jenna would have just been a little bit, oof. So I was like, okay, I'm having a boy, whatever, whoop-de-whoop. Now, my family did plan me a small, intimate baby shower. It was at my mom's house. And I was very sad. I was very sad because this was my 16th birthday. I had my baby shower on my 16th birthday. And, at that age, you inviting everybody, right? So I invited so many of the people that I thought were my friends in high school. Nobody showed up but my childhood best friend, of course, because we was best friends since the first grade. She was there. One of my other high school friends, we didn't go to the same school. She went to a different school in a different town, but she was there. My immediate family was there, of course, but what really blew my mind was 2 of my aunts they drove down from Virginia and they surprised me. And I was just like, what the heck? But in the moment, I just couldn't feel. I couldn't fully take in the moment. Again, I had my baby shower on my 16th birthday. It just was like, but what I can say is the amount of support and gifts I got, it was people that was pulling up that I didn't even know. It was a full-blown, all hands on deck. This baby is going to be raised by a village. We are going to show her love and support. So although my little high school friends did not show up, the amount of support that I had in general was just like, wow. Like, a lot of my mom friends from the Muslim community, hold up. Not a lot of my mom friends from the Muslim community showed up, but a few of them did. And it was like, wow. Like, one of them even brought me my car seat and my stroller. I had Pampers galore. Pampers and wipes galore. I did not have to get Pampers and wipes for a little minute after I had Jessie, or maybe, no, I probably had to get some Pampers and wipes maybe like after 2-3 months after I had Yesir, because I'm just OCD. I probably was using about 5 to 10 wipes when I was changing his diapers. But so now we're gonna fast forward to labor. Now listen to the dates. My baby shower was May 15th, my 16th birthday. Originally, Yesir due date was for June 24th. I started experiencing labor pains June 14th. I had to get rushed to the hospital the night of June 14th. Wee hours, we went into June 15th. That's when they induced my labor. I had Yesir the next day around 4 p.m. June 15th. Baby shower was my birthday, May 15th. Had to get my in-labor deuce, June 14th. Had Yesir, June 15th. Me and my son's birthday is a month apart. When I mean alignment at its finest, alignment at its finest, I could not believe I had my son a month after my birthday. We are a month, our birthdays are a month apart. So it's like, to this day, when I'm preparing for my birthday and trying to figure out what I'm doing, I'm always trying to make sure that he have a better birthday than me. always. That's just, I just go into parent mode like, I'll be all right. You know what? Let me just make sure he have a good birthday, right? So when I mean alignment is real, and I always pray for it to this day, that's some real alignment. I'm about to go into work, so I'm going to come back with part 5 today, and we just going to end this story time, and I'm going to put the rest out in part 5. So y'all stay with me. I was supposed to post part 4 yesterday, but I had a day yesterday, so stay with me. Part 5 on how I found out I was pregnant at 15 with my son. The last part I left at was going into labor June 14th, having my son June 15th. Crazy alignment because my birthday is May 15th, right? Okay. I had Yesir in the evening around, I'm gonna say like 4:14 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. I did have visitors. My biological father that was popping lip, he did come, but he literally came for 2 minutes and he left. Waste of time. My childhood best friend came. Of course, my siblings, of course, my mother and my father was there. My mother and my father was the first person. They actually, first of all, hold up. Shout out to my mom and my stepfather for being in the delivery room. They were in the delivery room, and my stepfather recited the adhan in my son's ear. Soon as he came out, my son was born Muslim. Period. Okay, so I'm gonna say I stayed in the hospital maybe for like 2 days, 3 days, maybe 2. It was a very long time ago. I got home. It was very weird. Like being home with my son, it felt so weird. I immediately knew I was going through postpartum depression. I was so sad about my weight. I was a 00. I didn't gain any weight throughout my pregnancy because I was so sad and stressing so much. Like, you know, and I knew I was going to be a single mom because my son's father he was not by my side through any of that. I wanted to speak about that, you know, more in depth, but some things just don't need a whole bunch of entertainment. Like, I just don't want to put so much like, I'm a single mom, been a single mom since I found out that I was gonna have my son. Okay, so when I got home, it was very weird. tremendous help from my siblings, tremendous help from my mom. Now, I had my son in June, so July, August was, summer break. So I knew that I had to get back to school. So me and my parents, my mom and my stepdad, we came up with a game plan. I go back to school. We found a daycare. It was a Muslim-owned in-house daycare. This was a daycare that my mom had me and my siblings in when we were younger. She has maybe about 5-6 kids. She cut us a sweet deal. Obviously, I'm a teen mom. I can't really afford daycare, but he wound up going to daycare with her. So I would get my son ready for school, ready for daycare in the morning before I went to high school, and my mom would drop him off. My time to get out of school every day was 2:45. So by the time I'm walking up to my house, my mom was already outside of my house with my son. So I just had to get him out the car, boom, boom, bang. Or sometimes she would be in the house already, and I would be with him for the rest of the evening, because my mom was also going to my mom was like a heavy gym girly. So that was her outlet. She would go to the gym every afternoon, right? And I would just have my son to myself, feed him, whatever. But it was hard. It was hard because I'm juggling high school, and I'm coming home after high school, and I'm being a mom. And mind you, again, high school, I got teenage friends. They going to teen parties. They living their teenage lives, and I'm going home and I'm being with my son. But you know what? That created so much strength and discipline at such a young age, just looking back on it. So what I thought I was missing out on, I wasn't really missing out on much, for real. Fast forward to me getting a job. I had wound up getting my first job while I was in high school, my junior year. My first job was working at Nike. Obviously my parents was like, girl, you think we about to be doing everything? No, you're gonna get a job. And that's exactly what I did. So I would never forget my first paycheck. My mother took me to go get my first paycheck. I got my first paycheck. She took me to the bank. We sat in the car. We bust that money down. Like, okay, this is going to go here. This is what's going to go there. She took me, after the bank, she took me straight to Babies R Us. I bought Pampers, wipes, just like little things that I needed for him. But it's just so crazy because I cannot thank my mother enough for instilling that in me at such a young age. That's why I am the way I am now, because my mother did not play. She did not play. Even when I finished high school, right? I would never forget when I finished high school. My son, he still had to go to daycare, right? Because I had started the county college in my hometown, and I was going for nursing, and I knew nursing was what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, but I'm just gonna try to do the work, and I'm gonna try to do the school thing. But my son, he still needs to go to daycare. So it's a program called Program for Parents, and they help you with paying a portion of your daycare fees. I didn't have no car. My parents was at work. She was like, okay, she called me, get up, get on a bus, do what you need to do. What I do, did just that. Because if I didn't do it, I would have never heard the end of it. It's like, I'm a single mom. I'm still in my teenage years. If I did not do these things, who was going to get it done? I was going to sit around and wait for my mom to do it. My siblings also, I'm the baby of the bunch. My mom has 5 kids. I'm the baby of the bunch. So I was the only one that brought a child into the world. I was the first sibling to bring a child into this world. They already had their own lives going on. Nobody was going to stop, drop, and roll for me and be doing everything for me. I'm his mom, I brought him into the world. So at such a young age, I was moving, I was grooving, and it was hard. It was hard. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it was a walk in the park. No, there was a lot of days that I cried because his father wasn't involved. His father is still not involved to this day. And it's sad because, you go into these situations and you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if the father is going to agree to be involved, or he's going to be with you throughout the whole process, or bringing a kid into this world is scary. It's a scary thing. And that's why I always say, be careful who you have kids with. Be careful who you have kids with. That goes for these men too. Be careful who you have kids with, because when it comes to support and when it comes to co-parenting, you want it to be smooth sailing. You don't want it to be no crazy, weird, chaotic drama, because at the end of the day, the child is heavily affected. I lived it. I can't say I'm living through it now because I've been a single mom, but there were times where my son would question things like, yo, like, where's my dad? And I have to answer those questions. I can go on and on because it's been a long 16 years. My son about to be 16 now. It's been a long 16 years. But what I can say is, if you are in your teenage years right now and you feel like, oh, I want to be a mom. I love this boy. Truly, truly think about bringing a baby into this world before you really bring a baby into this world. Make sure you have support if you decide to do it. Make sure your village is going to be there to support you, because I would have never made it this far without my village. Literally. Till this day, I still have my village. And I can't thank them enough. And if you are a teen mom and you trying to navigate, take your time. Do not beat yourself up. Come up with a plan and stick to it. That's it. God gonna always help you see your way through. You just have to believe that. I'll be back with more story times. Thank you for sticking with me, because I was a little behind on these videos, but yeah.
Lauren really said, I was gone for three days and came back to a whole revelation on her fingertip. Like the universe just handed her the truth without her even asking for it. That's not bad luck. That's just the world protecting you from yourself sometimes. The thing that hit me the hardest watching her tell this wasn't even the condom moment. It was everything before it. She's spending 4 days a week at this man's place, buying into the vibe, FaceTiming every day from Cincinnati, feeling all warm and chosen. And he never actually claimed her. That's the real story. The condom was just the receipt. Then he walks into that party with 3 girls like he was producing a movie and she was just an extra in the crowd. The audacity is actually kind of impressive in the worst possible way. But here's what I took away from the whole thing. She was so busy playing house that she forgot to check if she even owned the building. Like she decorated a room that was never hers and then got surprised when someone else had the key. Another thing, she kept saying she saw red flags and made excuses for them. And that's not weakness. That's just what you do when you like someone. You negotiate with the red flags. You're like, okay, but he's sweet though. Girl, we've all been there. The part that actually made me think though is when she said everything changed. When she stopped pouring into situations and started pouring into herself. Her skin, her hair, her mental health, how she walks into a room. That's not just self-help talk. You can genuinely feel that she lived that shift. The real lesson? Don't audition for a role that was never being cast. If someone hasn't chosen you on a random Tuesday with no special occasion and no pressure, they're not choosing you. Now, this story about this woman and her boyfriend and him taking a shot at her head is wild. Oh my God. She went to get her gun, had it in her hand, and talked herself out of it. Like she literally said, it ain't never that serious, and put it back. And then, not even 2 minutes later, that man walked into her room and grabbed her gun and aimed it at her head. That is the kind of thing that rewires how you think about intuition forever. She heard the voice, she moved on the voice, and then she second-guessed the voice. That's the central lesson of the whole thing, honestly. When your gut is screaming at you, that's not paranoia. That's data. The neighbor at the elevator. He literally said, I'm here to protect you out of nowhere, completely unprompted. Like he felt something was off before she even registered it consciously. People around you sometimes see what you're too close to see. The phone thing is interesting too because that's what cracked him. Not a big dramatic confrontation, just her calmly asking for her property back. And that exposed everything. Because a person who's stable doesn't go from this relationship is over to attempting murder over earbuds and a phone. The escalation was already inside him. It just needed the smallest excuse to come out. And then the mama thing at the end. His mama's not even dead. He fabricated a dead mother to justify shooting at someone's head. That's not grief. That's manipulation. And it's the kind of lie that tells you everything about who you were actually dealing with the whole time. The biggest takeaway for me watching this is that she survived because she moved when it mattered. She followed him into that room. She ignored her instinct once, but she didn't ignore it twice. That second listen saved her life. Now, this woman sleeping with homegirl with her having baby daddy issue would messy like hell. There's a lot going on here, but some real things hit different when you step back and look at the whole picture. Sana clearly knew early on that this situation had red flags written all over it. Like she literally described Samantha as emotionally avoidant, a hypocrite, and somebody who drinks heavily and can't take accountability. And yet she stayed. That's not a Samantha problem. That's a why do we keep choosing people we already know aren't good for us problem. We've all done it though, so no judgment. The Lucas situation was so telling. Samantha had been warned repeatedly to keep distance from this man because the energy was off. She dismissed it every single time. Called Sana sensitive. Then the man literally hops over a car seat in traffic at 7 a.m. drunk and aggressive. Sometimes people don't believe you until the thing you warned them about is standing right in front of them, making a scene on 7th Avenue. The whole posting the video thing, Sana owned it, said she was wrong, but explained the emotion behind it. And honestly, that's the part people skip over. She wasn't posting it to be malicious for no reason. She was humiliated and hurt, and she reacted. That doesn't make it right, but it makes it human. The real lesson there is that revenge moves always escalate the situation beyond what you originally intended. Every single time. Samantha showed up at the door at 1 a.m. because she framed it as, I just want to talk. But girl, you already knew the wife was there. You saw the IG story. That wasn't about talking. That was about doing something and then being able to say, you didn't come for drama. That's a very specific kind of calculated messiness that people don't always recognize. The crying phone call after all the threats. That was the most revealing moment of the whole story. Because people who perform toughness, the hardest, are usually the most hurt underneath it. The I'm a thug, I don't cry energy, and then bursting into tears the moment she actually got Sana on the phone. That's somebody who genuinely had feelings and didn't know how to handle them in a healthy way at all. What I got from all of this is that communication styles are either compatible or they're not. And you cannot love someone into communicating differently if they don't want to. Sana kept coming to Samantha with things that bothered her. Samantha kept shutting it down, dismissing it, calling her sensitive. That mismatch was the actual relationship killer. Everything else, Lucas, the video, the Ring camera, all of it, those were just symptoms of two people who fundamentally couldn't meet each other where they were. And then Daddy Yankee sitting in the middle, playing both sides the whole time. There's always that person in messy situations, and they never get enough blame. They're the ones keeping the fire lit while acting like they're just an innocent bystander. Sana's not perfect in this either, and she knows it. But there's something respectable about someone who can say, I was wrong about this specific thing, and you were also wrong about these specific things, rather than needing to be the total victim to feel justified. That's actually growth, whether she realizes it or not.